welcome to Controller One, a talk show where we talk about hot topics and rumors in the single-player gaming world. I'm joined once again by Nick Calandra, the owner and founder of OnlySingleplayer.com, well, OnlySP.com. Nick, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be discussing today?
Yep, with E3 right on the horizon, we're going to start talking about the conferences and kind of what we're expecting from them, along with rumors, speculation, whatever else we can think of. So basically today, we're going to be discussing the first two conferences of the E3 show, Bethesda and EA's, which actually are in the opposite order. EA's first and Bethesda's after that.
All right, cool. So tell me a little bit about the rumors going into these two conferences. What's confirmed? What's speculated? I actually haven't really been keeping up too much with the rumors.
Sure. So EA's is pretty. I don't know. This is the first time they've ever held it on Sunday instead of Monday with like the rest of the conferences, because now they're doing their own EA Play thing. We know Titanfall 2 is going to be there. Battlefield 1, Mass Effect Andromeda, all the sports games, which I really hope they spend like 15 to 20 minutes on. Not even that long. I hope they spend like 5 minutes on in total. Show me a gameplay trailer and get the hell out with it. And for me, I just want to see NHL and FIFA. I don't care about the rest of them, unless they have like a new fight night or something like that. As far as rumors goes, though, EA's been pretty tight-lipped. Bethesda or BioWare might show off their new IP there, and then Criterion was working. They revealed it last year. They're working on some type of like action sports game, which is
action sports game.
Yeah, it's different. It's like as far as like paragliding, all that kind of stuff. As far as action sports go. They put a little trailer out for it. You'll see it in this video. But yeah, they haven't said anything about that in a long time, so I'm not sure what the hell's going on with it. But they sure had a long developer diary video for it last year, so
yeah. Hopefully, it's come a little bit, and
sure,
see some actiony sports, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know what that entails, but
I don't either. I don't really know what it's going to be, but it looked pretty cool. And then as far as Need for Speed goes, there's not going to be one until 2017.
Right.
So
yeah, I heard
they
about that.
might tease that. And I doubt we'll see anything Star Wars related, but I'm betting we'll see a new Star Wars expansion because it's about that time. Probably see the Death Star one. I think that's the next one. I might be incorrect on that.
Right.
And then maybe teasers for Visceral's Star Wars game, but even that one, I think the last thing I reported on for it is not supposed to be out till 2018. So.
Yeah, so they might hold off a little bit to show anything from that.
Mm-hmm. Battlefront 2 was already confirmed for next year, so.
Right.
And once again, they'll be aligning the release date with the movies, so of course. But
yeah, I mean it makes sense. I mean,
sure.
You might as well. It's cross promotion, and people are already excited for the movie. So, I mean, it definitely helped Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, well, it's going to include content from the new movies, too, so I can't see that not increasing their sales.
Oh, yeah.
But,
sure.
So in terms of Bethesda, we really, really don't know a whole lot about that one. All we know for sure that will be there is Dishonored 2 gameplay.
Which is really cool. I mean, the first Dishonored was extremely good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that game. Actually, I have the PS4 version, just haven't gone back and replayed it yet because I don't have time to do that. But as far as what's rumored at Bethesda, Prey 2 is really picking up steam as far as the rumors go, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it there. The Arcane Austin studio in Texas is supposed to be working on it, and that's been rumored since 2013, 2014.
I played the first one, and from what I've heard of the second one, and of course, it could be a completely new game at this point, is that it really only shares the name, right? It has really nothing to do with the first one.
Yeah, the first one was a linear kind of gravity mixed out experience. It was pretty good. I
Yeah.
never actually bought the full game because when I came out, my parents wouldn't let me buy it. Obviously, I was still too young. But
You know what? I have it somewhere here. I remember playing it. I don't think I ever beat it, but it was pretty good.
well,
Yeah, it was pretty
I
good.
played there was a demo on the Xbox 360 for it, and I played that fucking thing. God, a couple every other day. I really liked it for some reason. I never ended up playing the full game. So hopefully, when Bethesda announces it for at E3, they make it backwards compatible because that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So one of the rumors that I heard actually earlier today was something about they were teasing something to do with Elder Scrolls, something to do with like an Elder Council or something. Did you hear about this?
No,
No.
Does that have something to do with the Elder Scrolls Online?
You know what? It probably does, unfortunately.
Mhm.
I mean, Elder Scrolls Online isn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't what people were expecting
Yeah.
or wanted. But I'm thinking it's going to probably be an expansion for that, something to do with the Elder Council, from what I can detail.
But if Bethesda's holding a conference, though, you have to think that they're going to announce some things. I mean, the only thing, like I said, the only thing they've announced really is Dishonored 2. So Prey 2, I really expect Prey 2 to be there. If it's not, I'd be really surprised. And then nothing's really been rumored on this side, but Machine Games, well, it's been a couple of years now since Wolfenstein came out, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a teaser for something out of them too.
You know what? I recently played the most recent Wolfenstein,
The New Order.
and it wasn't that bad.
Oh, that's great! I love that
Yeah.
game.
I was very pleasantly surprised.
If I had to pick that one or the Doom reboot, I'd go with the Wolfenstein reboot. I thought it was just a much better game. But
Really? Wow.
I liked both, but the New Order I played the previous Wolfenstein, so it was like, wow, this was actually really cool now. And they made the story like pretty nuanced and mature. It's what I was really surprised with.
Yeah, like it was a more fleshed out game than I was expecting. I was expecting a cheap kind of, shooter that you can blow through in a couple hours. But
Sure.
it had some substance to it. I'd really like to see the announcement of a sequel.
And everybody's hoping for a Skyrim 6 reveal, or I guess the Elder Scrolls 6. Wow, I'm silly.
I don't. You know what? I don't think we're gonna see it
Nope.
for another at least a year or two. It's just not likely. I think with those kind of with that kind of franchise, you kind of have to let it sit for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
either that or I mean Bethesda's kind of changed up quite a bit over the past few years of just how they run things.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
mean they're publishing a lot more than they have in the past. I mean if they're the second year they're holding a conference, so I mean it'd be a bomb drop if they dropped the new Elder Scrolls like that. People go insane for it and then have it come out early next year or somehow late this year, but that wouldn't happen. But
yeah,
I can see it coming out. I can
see it
if they somehow announce it, I can see it coming out late next year. But I just don't think that's the way Bethesda does things anymore, because they announced Dishonored 2 last E3 and it's coming out in August?
Yes.
Or no, it's coming out in November. Jeez, it's Deus Ex coming out in August.
Oh yeah, that's another one I'm looking forward to. But that's another topic altogether.
Yeah. No Square Enix press conference this year, so.
Really? Is that typical of them, or is this?
Yeah, last year was the only time they held it, and they didn't really need to hold a press conference for what they had to show.
Right.
They didn't show. I mean, they had Deus Ex obviously, and then they had the Final Fantasy reboot or remake, the XI remake. I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know jack shit about Final Fantasy.
A remake of some sort. There's been
Final Fantasy 8. That's when it's getting remade in Unreal Engine 4. But other than that, and then they announced Project Sensua, which is coming out like 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
So yeah, but I didn't really think they needed a press conference for it, but I guess they did.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting, because I think there's not to go off topic too much, but I think there's some noticeable sort of absentees this year. I mean I know Square Enix doesn't do conferences a lot, but I mean that's a big company.
Mm-hmm.
They're not absent, but I mean Nintendo's not really doing too much this year.
Nintendo hasn't been there for the past 3 years really.
Yeah, I mean
they just do their
true,
own
yeah.
thing, and I think it works out better for them.
Yeah, probably. It probably does. So what else is rumored to be going on? Is there? I'm just trying to think what else is between.
As far as EA and
the two.
Bethesda go, I really don't know much else in regards to rumors that I've heard. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they show off for Mass Effect Andromeda, because they're talking about persistent galaxy or whatever, persistent universe kind of thing in a single player setting, so that could be really interesting.
So with this new Mass Effect, just to kind of ruminate a little bit about about the game itself, do you think it's going to have actual connections to the previous game? Like, do we know much about it? Is it just using the name to sort of get a cheap pop, as they say?
Well, there's the whole new character, protagonist, whatever. But aside from that, they really haven't said too much about the game yet. They pushed out the reveal trailer last year, and then, I mean, it just kind of teased us about what was coming, but they really haven't talked about the game yet. And I think, obviously, this E3, they're going to finally really reveal what it is.
I'm kind of hoping they take a step back with it, because as good as Mass Effect 3 was, I think they leaned a little bit too heavy into the action genre, whereas the second one was still kind of, more restrained. It had more RPG elements. I'd like to see a game more along that line, because the third one almost turned into a shooter, and it kind of lost a little bit of its uniqueness.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as they don't do it, I mean, Dragon Age Inquisition, I really liked it, but I also didn't really like it. It just, I mean, I said this in the previous thing, I'm so burnt out from open world games. There's just the same objectives over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And like, per se, I just, we got the review copy of Homefront. I was going to review it. I got into it for 30 minutes, and then it said, go pick this up, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I quit.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to see more linear, like well-crafted, story-based games announced this year, because that is a very popular trend right now. Is these huge open-world games, and they're fantastic in their own way, but there's something lacking.
Right. Well, and going back to Mass Effect, I mean, personally, I think the series is... I've never thought the shooting was very good in the series. And, I mean, I can't really speak too much about Mass Effect. I've played all of them, I've beaten all of them.
Yep,
but
same.
when I play the games, I don't really get into the whole RPG thing. I kind of played them, all three of them, more as like a linear game. But I think the series is just too far... Like, it's like you said, it's more action focused in 3, and that's what sells. And but then again, EA's been changing again too, just like Bethesda. And at the end of Dead Space's life cycle, it kind of got watered down. It went from very survival horror game to less so, and then more less so in the third one.
Yeah, and by the third one, it was more shoot 'em up alien style.
Right.
Yeah.
So. The Mass Effect Andromeda, I think, just based on what they describe with like the open universe and all that, I think you're going to get more of an RPG than you're probably thinking you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're also going to focus on... I really don't know. I really don't know what to think about Andromeda, because I didn't think Mass Effect 3 was too focused on the shooting. I mean, personally, since the world's being attacked, I mean, it's only natural that there's going to be more action in the final installment. Just every movie follows that same trope too. Hunger Games, there wasn't very much action in the very first movie, and by the last movie, it's just all-out war. So that's how I look at trilogies usually. The third one's always going to be the most action-packed out of the pack.
Yeah, that's true. When you look at it that way, it's you treat the trilogy of games kind of like a story arc in a movie. So yeah, no, that's a good way of looking at it.
But I'd also like to see maybe not so much like overburdened RPG elements, but more weight on your choices in the game, other than just having people die. Like, if they're building it on like a universe scale, holy hell, I want to see planets explode if I make the wrong choice.
I mean, it would be nice because the franchise was built off of your choices making a difference in the game's narrative and how your relationships were treated and all that stuff. And I think, not to bring it back to the controversy of the third game, but, it lessened that, because by the end of the game, your choices didn't overly matter, I felt. So it'd be really nice to see a more effort put into a game that tells you your choices matter, having actual, impact.
Right. Well, I think after the Mass Effect 3 ending debacle, they're not going to fuck around with that.
Yeah. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed. I mean, that's the thing, is we've seen time and time again, games and franchises say they're going to do one thing, and then, they screw up or whatever the case is, or fans want, this aspect or that aspect, and then they just come out with more of the same schlock and they don't listen. And so
I'm just waiting for the day that people really start utilizing that system introduced in Shadow of Mordor with the Nemesis AI system. Have you played that?
Oh yes, I actually recently played it again.
Right. So that system would work out so well in so many open world games, and I really can't wait to see people innovating on it. Because like Mass Effect, like,
it would work really well for Mass Effect,
right? Like, some bounty hunter out there keeps gaining the authority. You gotta go take him down. Every time he takes you down, he just gets stronger, and it ends up becoming like a massive boss fight at the end, kind of thing. Or, if you let him go on too long, and then he becomes a big threat to the galaxy and destroys the planet. I don't know why I like planets being destroyed, but it's cool.
I think that'd be a really interesting concept to integrate into a game like Mass Effect. I don't know if it'll happen in this one, but I think there's a good chance of something like that being implemented.
Well, I mean, Mass Effect, this Andromeda is basically BioWare's first real next-gen RPG, considering Dragon Age was, on both Xbox and new consoles.
That's true.
Old gen and new gen, so.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, what they can pull out of the bag with their first real one. People
like to crap on EA a lot, but lately I think they've been stepping their game up. Just in their listening, I think, Mirror's Edge is coming out. Battlefront, it was lack of content, but I mean, you can't deny the game is beautiful and plays awesome.
Oh yeah, like, it was gorgeous.
So I think they're trying to fix their image, and I think they're trying to turn their games around. I think Andromeda is going to surprise a lot of people, and one of the insiders I know is super excited about it from what he knows. Nice. He won't tell me anything, but
and like, I know this isn't E3 related, but that Mirror's Edge game better be good, because I loved
6 days.
I loved the first one. When the demo first came out, I played the time trial so much I got in the top 5. It better be good. Well, at the time. Well, yeah.
Parkour nerd.
So fingers crossed.
All right. Well, going back to Bethesda, Dishonored 2 I don't know if you read the Game Informer preview, but it sounds really neat, and they're taking it to the next level with that one.
Can you give me a little rundown of what they're promising with it?
I have to go back and read the article really, but it's just they're taking everything that they did in the first game and just expanding on it, like the way the assassination missions and everything like that.
Right.
I'd have to go back and reread the article to remember everything, just based on everything I cover every day. But
so that's another one that I'm really interested to see, because for me, the gameplay and the missions and the story were all very interesting in the first one, but there was a very specific art style to it that was very I don't know how to describe it, but it wasn't like super realistic. It wasn't cookie cutter. There was a very distinct vibe to it, and I really hope that that feeling transfers over to the sequel, and it doesn't fall victim to what a lot of sequels fall victim to. You know, that sort of generalization. You know, that all of a sudden it just turns into, you know, boring gray. You know, so so hopefully something good comes out of that one, and I'm very excited to get my hands on it too.
Sure. I guess while we're on the subject, I guess we're gonna go back to EA again. Titanfall 2 is gonna have a single player campaign. Have you heard that yet?
I did read up on that a little bit, but you know what? I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, but you never know. I mean, I might try this one because I mean, it's nice to have, you know, a single player experience, because I'll be honest with you, I suck at multiplayer, especially when there's, you know, online players that dedicate their life to these games, and you can't play, you know, 35 seconds without dying.
Sure. Did you actually play Titanfall then, or?
You know what? I didn't actually play it, but
so you don't like it, but you never played it. You sound like every gamer ever.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Oh no, like I can't say I dislike it because obviously, like you said, I never played it, but I didn't pick it up because of the, you know,
just being multiplayer only.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that's a
the
bit
thing
of a
I don't
turn-off
understand. Like Titanfall, it sold very well, and it's multiplayer only. And then they go around. I mean, I know why they did Battlefront the way they did. They cut the single player. Well, they never included it because they had to get the game out on time for the movie.
Yeah, which is.
And now with the next one, they're going to have a campaign. But you would think after, like, Evolve and Battleborn or whatever, unless you are in the know of how to develop a multiplayer only game, aka Overwatch or Call of Duty or something like that, it just does not make sense to me. You're cutting out so many people that just want to play the campaign and then get rid of the game, or, you know, whatever. Get that initial sale. That's more than what you're going to get making a multiplayer only game. But we're talking about a subject for another time, and one that Lance is going to discuss in his upcoming editorial, mostly focusing on indie developers though. But fact of the matter is, like, multiplayer only games, there's too many, and AAA games just do not work as multiplayer only games unless you're Call of Duty, Overwatch, or Battlefield. That's really about it.
And to be honest, Overwatch was a complete surprise that it worked so well at being solely multiplayer. I mean, I don't think many people thought it was going to be bad, but to sell so well and to be reviewed consistently positive as a solely multiplayer experience, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's also Blizzard. I think they know what they're doing when they develop a game, and they
especially
game.
multiplayer games.
Yeah, they don't release an IP until they know it's gonna sell.
Yeah, polished.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say a whole lot. I mean, I've played a little bit of Diablo, but, you know, I never really got into it. But I knew it was polished and had a lot of content, and people are insane over those games. So
yeah, that's a big fan base there.
But yeah, so not a whole lot of rumors for either conference that are really substantial. I mean, there's big rumors, but we just, you know, it's very up in the air of what the hell is going to be there. And there's one other game EA might have they have a new IP to show off, I think. And it was revealed last year by the guys that made Brothers, the creative director of Brother: A Tale of Two Sons. What the hell's the name of it? Teaser trailer was guys riding on a train.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but the name's not coming to me.
I don't want to spend time on the podcast looking for the name. Well, whatever it is, it's some story-focused narrative. Kind of
nice.
Probably, you know, he had revealed Unravel at the show or whatever.
Okay.
Might be something like that.
Well, if it's interesting enough, we can always circle back to it.
Sure. It's interesting. I just can't remember because I have to remember so many games.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm sure to let everybody, if you got thoughts on the the rumors or speculation or whatever, be sure to comment. And once again, the name of the show is the Controller One Show. thing.
The Controller One show thing.
Yes, that. It's better to name that show.
Yeah. So what are we going to be talking about next show?
Yep. So the next one will, since we discussed EA and Bethesda today, we'll hit the big two players next week with Microsoft and Sony, and then I guess we can't do that because Microsoft, Sony, and Ubisoft are on the same day, and the PC Gamer Conference is all on the same day. But last year's PC Gamer Conference didn't really announce a whole lot, so. Yeah, I think we'll probably just focus on Microsoft, Sony, and Ubisoft on the next show.
All right.
And Ubisoft's got a lot to show off this year, so.
Well, it should be a lengthy one then. Lots to discuss.
Yeah, something like that. Especially Microsoft. Like Sony, I don't know jack shit about aside from. Well, I guess we'll save it for next week. You guys will find out what I know next week.
All right.
I guess we're ending it there.
Well, that's all for this week's show. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Only Single Player YouTube channel. And if you have some time, make sure to visit our Patreon and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you all for listening, and make sure to tune in next week. Take care.